All right, so here was another question that came up was life paths in making big decisions that affect the people around you, especially if you have children. Kind of like what do you do? This kind of goes to the authenticity reel I posted or will have post. I'm not sure what order I'll post them in. But the idea is that I would say why not make them? Especially if you have children. If you have big decisions to make that are in your authenticity, why wouldn't you make that if you had children? Why wouldn't you take that risk? Why wouldn't you make the leap? Have faith, trust the universe in that. If, if, if. They're having me say that 3 times for a very specific reason. If, if, if. That choice is aligned to your authenticity, is aligned to a loving heart space, is aligned to a higher timeline, is aligned to something that is far more beautiful than the existence you are in now. Those are the keys. Some choices you may think are for your best, but aren't because they're not authentic. Those choices would be like 3D things. Hey, take this job because it's paying more money. Just because a job pays more money doesn't mean you'll be happier, doesn't mean it's more authentic. What happens if you go to that job, you move your family, and then you find out you're working 80 hours instead of 40 like you were before, and then have no time to spend with your family? That's why it's important to understand what is authentic to you. And then when it comes to people and children, be the example. Be the example of somebody who embraces their own authenticity, who shows them that the 3D world is not all there is, that it's about love. It's about who you are. Are you the fullest expression and embodiment of yourself, is what my guides are saying. Are you the fullest expression and embodiment of yourself in a space of love, frequency, in a space of trust and surrender, in a space that you know that you are growing, healing, and allowing the universe to bring to you what you need in every moment? And to remember that what you need may not be what you think you need. Most of the time, it isn't. Most of the time, what you need is a lot less than what you think you need. And so be the example for your children, be the leader, be somebody who goes, you know what? I know it's going to be scary. We're going to make this decision. This decision. We're going to make this shift. We're going to do this big leap. And it's nothing to be afraid of. We're going to support each other. We're going to love each other because that's all that matters in the end. And we're going to do our best without fear. So we're going to live in a space of trust and surrender, of embracing our fullest expression, of embodying our fullest expression in truth and light and love, in knowing that that's what's going to carry us. Be the example to everyone around you, not just your children. It's your responsibility to be the example to your children so that they can grow up and always be in their truth and authenticity, so that they don't have to reprogram, they don't have to clear trauma, they don't have to do the things that we're doing for them. We're showing them a better way. So be the example, make the big decision. And then when it comes time for them to make a big decision, you'll be able to support them. You won't be afraid. You won't be telling them no, or it's a bad idea, or that there's fear around it. If it's in their fullest expression, truth, if they're embodying their authenticity, even though it could be the riskiest thing ever, it may be the best thing for them and maybe nobody sees it. The riskiest things for you might be the best things for you and you just can't see it because the risk is going to take time to play out. You have to commit to the risk to receive the reward. The risk is worth the reward, right? The greater the risk, the greater the reward. But the thing is, and this is what people don't understand, is when you take the risk, Sometimes you don't get the reward in a month, 2 months, 6 months. Sometimes it takes a year, 2 years. But when you look back and go, if if you hadn't taken the risk, you never would have gotten that reward. You, for me, it was living in my car. I knew long before. Excuse me. It's weird. Um, I don't know if that's a message for somebody because I don't really sneeze anymore or get allergies as much like I used to. Um, if you're in a space, oh, that's what I was going to say. So the risk worth the reward. I knew long before I jumped into my Subaru to live in the Subaru that I needed to, that I wanted to. I knew years before. And then my friend Bailey had even said, like, you should just move into your car. Like, what are you doing? Why are you love it when you travel? What are you doing? And maybe one day just pack your stuff up, put it in the car and leave. And then time went by. We talked about it several times and I didn't do it. And I got to a space where I was just utterly miserable, utterly miserable. And I finally said, you know what? Nothing's working out right now. And it wasn't. I was in a space where very little was working out for me. And I said, I just don't care anymore. I just want to be happy. I just want to be authentic. I just want to be free and in a space where I am experiencing more of the life I want to experience. And what does that mean? It means something different to everybody. So it got to the point where I just didn't care anymore and I'm going to take the risk. I had help from the community, a lot of help, and I didn't know how I was going to do it before the community helped me. I just knew I was like, I'm done. I give up. Whatever. I'm getting in the car. And then the community helped me, and it was like taking the risk, committing to it. Because my guides had even said, if we bring you X amount of money, what will you do with it? Would I put it towards debt, or would I do what I wanted? And I got to the point I was always putting it on my debt over and over and over again. Um, and I finally went, you know what? I'm just going to stop paying it. That's risky. I do not recommend that. That is not financial advice at all. Super risky. I'm still in a space of dealing with that. But I went, I'm not going to pay it because I need to have money to be able to do this shift. And so I shifted, you know, and it worked out in my favor immediately. When I committed to that, immediately the money I needed came. Not the money the world told me I needed, not the money for the outstanding bills and all this other stuff. The things the world told me I needed didn't come. What I needed, truly needed, came. And that's one of the things is like when you make the risk, when you take that risk, you might think you need such and such to do it. But when you finally commit to it, you'll probably realize you didn't need what you originally were thinking. And it comes when you commit to it, makes it easy. The whole point is that was one of the best risks of my life. The first one was leaving my job when I was working a 3D job in 2009. The next was leaving a toxic relation in 2021, I believe. I getting out of that space of that energy holding me back. And the next was leaving my apartment and moving into the car. Some of the biggest risks I took were the best things for me. They weren't easy. They weren't without hardship. They weren't without challenges and learning and growth. But that's not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is authenticity to you. When you're authentic, you're more in a love frequency, you're more joyful, you experience more of what you're meant to experience. And so lead other people, take the risks that are authentic to you, where you are embracing your authenticity, embodying it, embodying a love frequency, those keys. Those risks are often worth the reward. What are you waiting for? Love you all. Grateful for each and every one of you.